Today, the Father tells you that you are emerging from the dry and parched area where you have been sitting in your spirit. Even on this very day, I am releasing you from your prison and permitting the wine of my glory to fulfill you to the fullest extent possible. You were under the impression that you needed to be flawless and that you needed to be just so in your spiritual life. But the moment you are experiencing what unconditional love and unmerited favor are all about is when you realize that you are not perfect. I will set your feet amidst the counsels of the great and give you an unshakable witness of overcoming and triumph, declares the Father. The high places of the earth are your heritage, and I will give you an unshakable testimony of overcoming and triumph. According to the Father, I am your knowledge on this day. Therefore, seek my face in order to obtain the answers that are essential to improve things in your circumstance. The recommendations made by individuals who do not even acknowledge the presence of my hand in your life are completely pointless. Always keep in mind that your counselors are unable to provide you with what they do not possess. It is important to acquire the skill of seeking out others who are walking in a stronger anointing and experiencing a bigger favor and glory than you are, and then to sit at their feet. People who are corrupt and abominable and who have sought your life as a prey will be sent away far away from you, and you will be found standing side by side with those who support your good cause and who are in agreement with what you know I am doing in your life and what I have promised. The Father has spoken to us today, saying that in a short while, all will be different. It is going to change and shift profoundly in order to reconfigure things into the picture of heaven coming down to earth, dreams being realized, and visions being fulfilled. Those things that you thought were permanent fixtures of opposition and pain in your life will turn and shift. You should not be discouraged, says God, for I am not concealing my face from you. What I am doing is not saying no to you, nor am I going to sit back with my arms folded while you go through the pain and effort of dealing with circumstances that are beyond your control. The Father says, I declare to you today that sorrow will no longer be your daily bread, and those adversaries who have laughed and said, "Aha, aha," at your calamity will no longer be exalted over you in any way. I make this declaration to you today. Take into consideration and listen to my voice, says God, for you will no longer be able to sleep because of your sadness, and the shadows of disillusionment will no longer cover your door. The opponent who has spoken over you and declared, I will prevail, will be rewarded for the trouble that they have brought into your life. I came through for you with a double amount of favor and blessing, and you will exult in the knowledge that I did exactly that. You should put your faith in my mercy, says God, and allow your heart to rejoice in my individualized remedy to the problem that you are experiencing. While you have imagined large, you have never dreamed as big as this. You had some lofty thoughts about what my complete blessing looks like, but they were merely faint indications about what I am actually bringing to pass in your life, even this day, says the Father. Although you had some lofty ideas, they were simply suggestions. Today, the Father instructs you to open your eyes so that you can look through rather than only at the mountain that is in your way. Help is on its way to you. I am surrounding you and bringing into your life those who will hold your hands up when you are feeling tired and pray for you when a heartbreaking loss threatens your tranquility. I am sending you and encircling you. In the event that those who are near to you speak with a double tongue, you should be aware that I will make the truth outlive the lie. I will expose the enemy's double dealing and pull the cover off the lies that were masking themselves as the truth about you and your position. I will expose the enemy's double dealing. The Father assures you that you will obtain vindication. I will free you from all forms of oppression. I will bring back your joy, and I will provide you with a reason to rejoice throughout this season of joyful celebration. You have not been abandoned by anyone who is significant in my kingdom, and the Father assures you that you are not living in isolation. You have had feelings of isolation, and you have had the impression that no one understands what you are going through or encountering. Be aware of this, affirms the Father. I will make my presence known and protect you from any and all influences in your life that are attempting to intimidate, harass, or victimize you to some degree. In the end, you will discover that my words to you were honest, and despite the fact that my promise was tested 7 times in the furnace of tribulation, you emerged unharmed and on the right path to receive everything that I promised. This is because I am the God who never sleeps and never slumbers. My eyes are open to the scenario you are in, and my ears are open to the cries you are making. You are my beloved child, and despite all the hostility that is directed toward you, you are destined to receive the whole, complete, and total inheritance of my goodness, favor, and promotion. According to what the Father has revealed to us today, the darts that the adversary throws at you will not hit anyone. There will be no destruction of you, and there will be no reversal of your actions. Even when they stay up all night long plotting to do you harm, you will still be able to enjoy a restful night's sleep because you will be aware that my mercies are continually being replenished with each passing day. While you continue to move forward day by day with the quiet knowledge that I am with you every step of the way, your foundations are certain, and your road is secure. Although 1,000 fall at your right hand and 10,000 fall at your left, I have determined that you will be left standing regardless of what the enemy intends against you. Say this to yourself in your heart: the Lord is my helper, I will not be moved. The race is not for those who are quick, nor is the fight for those who are hardy. It is not necessary for you to outthink the adversary or be more intelligent than those who are looking to cause you harm. All you need to do is put your faith in my rescuing hand and keep praying for the outcome that I have promised you, and everything will work out for the best. I am not a distant God, proclaims the Father in this day and age. I am not too far away, and I am not trying to conceal who I am. This is the query that you have posed to God. Where are you, God? Please take a minute to pause and listen to the still, little voice that I speak, says the Father, because I am right here, as close as the breath that you take in. I can see the anguish and the despair that you are experiencing. Have the sensation that my grace is encompassing you and providing you with the strength to face the day and the strength to persevere through what appears to be insurmountable. When I move to heal, restore, and rebuild your hope and your confidence in me, even in the darkest of seasons, what the enemy intends for your destruction will work out in your advantage. I will bring about the destruction that the enemy intends for you. Your adversary, who takes cover in hidden locations, is being vanquished in front of you. It is something that will be visible to your eyes, as I have witnessed the cleanliness of your hands and the purity of your heart. In order to protect you from every threat and intimidation that the adversary has against you, I will take action, and I am currently moving. Although you may feel powerless, you are not in a helpless situation. The situation may appear to be hopeless, yet it is not hopeless. It is possible that you are experiencing a sense of your world collapsing around you, but the Father encourages you to take another look at the hope and life that I am bringing forth on your behalf. You have not been forgotten, and I have not concealed my personality from you in any way. Trouble and vexation are disappearing right now, and deliverance is being made visible in order to rebuild your trust and re-establish your testimony of my faithfulness in your life. Today, the Father tells us that you are not forgotten, and that I have not put you in a separate category. Even though you haven't witnessed anything yet, the adversary wants you to believe that all is over. I have taken note of the fact that you have placed your faith in me and that you have trusted in me, says the Father. Both your expectations and your hopes will not be dashed, but rather they will be realized without fail. That I am not a God of failure, and that I am not a God who sits back and watches you struggle and languish under difficult circumstances, is not something that I call myself. For I am waiting. Regarding the things that I have created, I will give you orders, and then you will witness what follows. Despite the difficulties and tests that you face, God promises that you will prevail. The gavel is turning in your favor at this very moment. Vindication will be brought about in your favor, and it will be brought about by my hand. The things that man has threatened and the situations that appear to be will be reversed, because this is the time when you will be able to turn around. You are not going to be let down, and the faith that you have placed in my promise will not be in vain. I will come to you in a sudden deliverance to transform the way things appear to you, to cause you to put off the garment of heaviness, and to cause you to set your feet to dancing as the enemy is completely turned aside in your condition and scenario. Even when you feel frail and weak and on the verge of giving in, I will deliver you. The Father has spoken to us today, saying, when others heap hatred and scorn upon you, I will show up in great mercy and compassion to deliver you in a moment of time. Know that the gates of death will not stop you, and the jaws of hell will not keep you back. This is something you should be aware of. To make it possible for your life to be, as in heaven so on earth, I went to the cross to pay the price. If I were to decree something, would it not be established by my hand? Put your faith in me, says the Father, and allow me to handle everything from here on out. What you are unable to make happen and what appears to be so unchangeable in your situation will, in a moment of time, give way to what I am going to do on your behalf. During times of hardship, I am your salvation and your helper, says God. I am your salvation. I am not surprised by anything that you are going through at this moment. I am not standing before the throne, pondering exactly what it is that I am going to do in response to the events that are taking place in your life. On this day, adopt a mindset that acknowledges the fact that you are sitting in heavenly realms with me, regardless of what things appear to be in the natural world. I am working to will and to perform my good pleasure in regard to you, therefore run into the high tower of my name and remain there in a posture of trust and faith. Know that I am working to do both of these things. All of the schemes that the adversary has devised for you will inevitably fail. They will be caught and fall into the pit that they built for you, and you will emerge from it rejoicing, knowing that I was with you the entire time as you put your trust in me and relied on my confident promise in the middle of the difficult circumstance. On this day, the Father declares, I am your safe haven and your tower of strength. When heavy obligations weigh you down and the prospect of destitution looms, I will come through for you and be recognized by my name, which is Jehovah Jireh. In the same way that I was the ram that was caught in the thicket to fulfill Abram's need, I will be there at the exact appropriate moment in your position, and your debts will be paid in full by the hand of the Master. Just keep in mind that Abraham was not working from a plan, rather, he was trusting in me. This is something to keep in mind if other people imply that things are not working out as you planned. In the end, my promise toward him was realized, just as my promise about you will surely come to pass, says God. He walked forth, knowing not where, but in the end, my promise regarding him was fulfilled. According to the Father, I am a God who provides for his people. It is everything that I do and who I am. You are going to be remembered in the time of your greatest need. Although it may be the case that everyone around you is skeptical and without faith, this does not mean that my guarantee of none will have any effect on your lack of faith. You are to receive this day, and you should anticipate that the provision of Calvary will be made available to you in significant ways that you can take to the bank. It is not necessary for you to be excellent enough, lucky enough, or smart enough to succeed. All that is required of you is to have faith in what I have already made possible. A good decision can be made in the middle of what appears to be a downturn, and that choice is to combine your faith with a strong expectancy that the deliverance that you have desired to see is being made visible, even today, says God. Today is a day of joy and testimony, according to what the Father has expressed to us. Give your mouth the opportunity to speak, and stop holding back. I say to you, be in a high spirit, because I am with you to put you over in life and cause every obstacle to the fulfillment of your highest heart's desire and greatest dream to be removed from before you. The enemy has threatened you, and the enemy has attempted to intimidate your testimony. However, I say to you, be in a high spirit. The Lord declares, I am working in your defense today. The enemy is spreading a lie that there is no hope for you in God, but it is a deception that will come to nothing, and your critics and opponents will be ashamed when they see my kindness overflowing your life in radical measure in the days ahead. There are people who say that there is no hope for you in God. It is the Father who assures you that you will not be rejected. In no way will you be rejected, but those who have opposed you will be repelled from the position they have taken. Because I am fighting on your behalf to rebuke the countries and destroy the wicked who have sought to get rid of your name and take away the blessings that I have ordained for you, they will fail, and they will perish. This is because I am rebuking the nations and destroying the wicked. God promises that you will witness the defeat of the adversary with your own eyes. I am God forever, and in your condition and scenario, I will demonstrate that I am mighty to save and mighty to deliver above all of your wildest hopes. When the dust settles and the smoke of war clears, you will be left standing because I am God forever. The Father has spoken these words to us today. My glory is in the heavens, and my glory is in you. The entirety of my kingdom is contained inside you, and it is characterized by the righteousness, joy, and peace that would be associated with a person whose wars have been eliminated. According to the Father, you are not separated from my throne in any way. There, in the heavenly places, you are sitting alongside me. In your capacity as a member of my family, that is the state in which you were born. It is not your knowledge or your moral perfection that ensures the security of all of your civic rights. Rather, it is the blood that was shed at Calvary that does so. Be at peace with that provision. Know that once you enter into rest, there will be manna on the ground every morning and water from the rock to refresh and renew you each and every day of your earthly journey. This is something that you should be aware of. God declares that you are my workmanship, and that I am constantly being watchful of every part of your existence. There is nothing happening on earth that would cause me to shift my focus to something else, other than the fact that I am counting each and every hair on your head and sending my angels to get closer to you so that you do not accidentally hit your foot on a stone. This day, I have bestowed upon you the title of king, and I have bestowed upon you a manifest reign over all the works that I have created. In the same way that everything is beneath my feet, everything is also under your fingertips. There is no one below you. You are beyond this. You are not the oppressed by any means. You are in me, in the sky, far above all principalities and powers that might set themselves against you. You are in me. If you are able to acknowledge this as the beginning of each and every day, you will be able to see the difficulties that your soul is experiencing and feel content. The Father has spoken these words to us today: "My glory is in the heavens, and my glory is in you." The entirety of my kingdom is contained inside you, and it is characterized by the righteousness, joy, and peace that would be associated with a person whose wars have been eliminated. According to the Father, you are not separated from my throne in any way. There, in the heavenly places, you are sitting alongside me. In your capacity as a member of my family, that is the state in which you were born. It is not your knowledge or your moral perfection that ensures the security of all of your civic rights. Rather, it is the blood that was shed at Calvary that does so. Be at peace with that provision. Know that once you enter into rest, there will be manna on the ground every morning and water from the rock to refresh and renew you each and every day of your earthly journey. This is something that you should be aware of. God declares that you are my workmanship, and that I am constantly being watchful of every part of your existence. There is nothing happening on earth that would cause me to shift my focus to something else, other than the fact that I am counting each and every hair on your head and sending my angels to get closer to you so that you do not accidentally hit your foot on a stone. This day, I have bestowed upon you the title of king, and I have bestowed upon you a manifest reign over all the works that I have created. In the same way that everything is beneath my feet, everything is also under your fingertips. There is no one below you. You are beyond this. You are not the oppressed by any means. You are in me, in the sky, far above all principalities and powers that might set themselves against you. You are in me. If you are able to acknowledge this as the beginning of each and every day, you will be able to see the difficulties that your soul is experiencing and feel content. This day, the Father declares, "I am your salvation from those who hate and persecute you." In their defense, they assert that they are simply being honest. In spite of the fact that they are under a false anointing, a spirit from the depths of hell that I will crush down and destroy in your favor, they are under the impression that it is a calling on their life to deprive you of any and all hope. God declares that the rebukes that are directed toward you are directed toward me, and that they are extinguished in the work that occurred on the cross. Always keep that in mind. That you might come to honor me with something that I detested. The possibility that you may be accepted was denied to me. I am the God who brings you out of the solitary place and leads you to find your tribe and your place in my house. When your mother and father abandon you, I will pull you up because I am the God who brings you out of the solitary place. You should be aware that I shall be your deliverance at the very moment when the adversary intends to tear you apart like a lion would tear its victim apart. However, they neglect to examine the issue through the prism of Calvary's cross, despite the fact that they assert that you are only receiving what you deserve. Whenever you say something that is in opposition to how I perceive you, I will make it impossible for you to hear it. Always keep in mind that I am here with you, even when you feel as though you are standing completely alone. I am with you. Talk to me about it. Even in the most difficult times, I want you to hear the still, little voice that I use to console and encourage you. This is the time for you. When this happens, yoke easy and burden light will begin to work their magic and pull you out of the muck of pessimism and despondency into the light. God says, I am working, and I am litigating in your behalf because I am angry with the wicked every day despite the fact that I am working. In spite of the fact that they will bend their bow against you and send forth the arrows of death in an effort to knock you down, I will deliver you and make all the damage that the ungodly have committed into dust under your feet. To this day, the Father instructs us to be correctable. You are my beloved child, and I will never neglect or leave you, as evidenced by the reprimands that I give you. There is no such thing as a pleasant chastening, but in the end, when you succumb to my correction, blessing will be the consequence, and answers that you have been waiting for will come to you. I am aware of every point of vulnerability that the adversary attempts to exploit in your character, and I am aware of your flaws, says God. I am aware of every weakness that you have. Those aspects of your life that you are unable to alter and that you do not believe you have the ability to alter are precisely the situations in which my grace is more abundantly bestowed upon you. Until every single relic of the past no longer haunts you and you walk free from all the bondage of darkness that has held you back, I have showed you mercy and I will continue to show you mercy until my kindness is complete. God has declared that this is the season of coming back. I will now fill you with my light and the depth of my love as you return to me in regions of your heart where you have become estranged from me after a period of time. I love you to the extent that I love you to the extent that I love you. There is nothing else I can do for you other than show you unending love and mercy. It is important to know that I am here to offer you comfort and encouragement whenever you find yourself in a situation where tears come and waves of regret overwhelm your soul. I will, with a wave of my hand, sweep away your naysayers and critics who raise the finger at you and declare that you are only receiving what you had coming to you. I will also engulf you with my embrace and surround you with my favor that you have not earned. It is because of who I am and what I do, says the Father, and my promise to you is that they will feel ashamed all of a sudden, but you will never be ashamed because you put your trust in me. This morning, the Father instructs you to make it a habit to begin each day with your thoughts and emotions directed toward me. You are not doing yourself any favors when you rush out to meet the needs of your day before spending time in my presence, but you are doing yourself a disservice. I want you to be armed with the resources of strength and grace that can only be found in the quiet place alone with me. The enemy will be out there with his stupidity and distractions, and I want you to be prepared for them. Pray with your mouth alone. Call out to me with your cries. Seek my face before you seek the face of man, and you will discover that the color of your life will change from one of struggle and continuous hardship to one of seamless fulfillment of every promise I have made in your behalf. The individuals who are responsible for bringing wickedness into your midst, as well as those who embrace stupidity and darkness, are being eliminated. I despise the man who is both bloody and deceitful, and I will remove such person from your life because they are a burden rather than a blessing. You should not interfere with what I am doing, says God, since it is for your benefit that my hand is moving to purify the ground that I have given you to stand on. I have given you the ground to stand on. In the process of establishing my intentions and my truth in your life, it is your job to continue to pursue the straight route and the narrow way of attentively listening to me at every stage of the journey. The adversary will try to entice you and flatter you, and if they are unsuccessful in doing so, they will seek to intimidate you and threaten you in order to convince you to give up on your destiny. God tells you to refuse to listen to them because they will fall by their own counsels, but you will remain because you have maintained your trust in me each and every day. Today, the Father declares, I am your righteousness. It is not necessary for you to strive to be good enough because that is nothing more than religious striving. When you call, I am aware of your presence. It is not necessary for you to sound as though you are not paying attention to what I am saying by raising your voice. I am about to enlarge you and magnify my mercies over your life, and the fact that you are in trouble is merely an indication that your situation is about to change. On the contrary, you are not going to be embarrassed. When it comes to making merchandise out of you or turning you into a cautionary example of someone who believed but did not receive the promise, I will not allow the enemy to do any of those things. My heart is filled with yes and amen toward you, says God. Therefore, put your faith in what I am about to do. According to the Father, I have given you a special place in my heart. As you come into the region of communion and oneness with me, take your attention away from the turbulence that is occurring in your life on the outside. The offerings of praise and worship that come from your mouth should be offered up to me in the hidden place. Even so, the word will come and the report will surface that the war is ended and deliverance has arrived. This will occur as you exhibit your trust in me and your dependence upon me. According to the Father, there is no other possible conclusion for you, since I am growing the corn of your bounty and the wine of my happiness within you to an extent that cannot be measured. It is in the knowing that tomorrow is another day that you will find the complete deliverance and blessing that you have pleaded with me for so vehemently that you will be able to lay down in peace and sleep secure in the knowledge that tomorrow is another day.